Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So in Monster Strike, I'm getting pretty close to 100 max lux. So to celebrate, I thought I would make a series of videos kind of listing my picks for the best max lux. Originally, I was just going to do one video and then just make it a big video and put all the guys in there. But I made my list, and it was like 50 max lux exactly. So I thought at that point, it just might as well do the one per element. And then the way that I pick these characters, I pick the max lux that you would be most likely to use the most often. So I'm not picking all the strongest ones, I'm not picking all the ones that are the easiest to make. Just the ones that you would be most likely to use. And then there will be no limited monsters in the top 10, but I might mention some in the honorable mentions at the end. Okay, so first let's look at my favorite types, which are the Pierce monsters with Blast Bump combos. And then the first one there will be Otsu. She is a super extreme, so she's a little bit difficult. But if you bring a bunch of Solomon Ascension, that can really help you in there. And yeah, she's a Pierce with no gravity barrier, no block, no gauge, which is perfect, and then the Blast Bump combo. That's almost everything I can ask for in a max luck. And I really do think that she's one of the top 10 in the game. Especially looking at it from the point of view of, which max lux you would use the most often. She's good for Vita, the Golzetsu quest, but she's also good just for standard farming, because yeah, no gauge, pretty easy to use her, quick to use her as well. And then as an added bonus, her evolution form is pretty good too. Bounce, flight, null warp, and then blast bump combo again. That's the same double null sling style as Arcadia, so we all know that that's pretty versatile. Okay, number 2 is Fukahide Evolution. This is another super extreme. This is kind of a tricky quest because there are revival loops and you need to take down a bunch of guys in the same turn. Just try to bring a bunch of water monsters with high speed, and that will help you get through the mission more quickly. But yeah, this guy is just a Pierce with null damage wall and the Blast Bump combo. Pretty simple. Again, no gauge, so that's awesome. He's maybe my top pick for a max luck in Brutus, who is an impossible monster that's pretty worth making. So yeah, Fukahide Evolution. Next, let's move on to the next category. That will be bounce monsters with the Blast Bump combo. And then my first choice here will be Suruto Ascension. And then most people, maybe they would know about the evolution form because it has the Fairy Slayer, which is good for like light Murasame. But for more general use, I would say the Ascension is better. Really high HP, really high speed. That's pretty great for a max luck. And then, yeah, just a no gravity barrier, no gauge, and then the Blast Bump combo. So yeah, I could imagine that you would use this character a lot. And then I did say in a recent video, but like these really simple max lux, they're kind of making a comeback for me. Because more and more we're seeing quests with, no gimmicks at all. So you could certainly use a guy like this, who would be very simple to use. And then the next character, who's just a bounce with the Blast Bump combo, would be Kirara Taisa, the Ascension version. She does have a gauge, so she's a little bit less than ideal. But she does have a double null, which is pretty cool. The null warp, null block. Not a ton of places where you might use her, but she's pretty good, speed is pretty decent, and yeah, this used to be a difficult quest, but these days, no, not at all. Okay, next, number 5 is one of the more kind of unusual characters, and that is Mikomo Evolution. She's a Pierce with just Minesweeper, but then she has an 8-turn null everything strike shot. So based on how you use her, she could be the most versatile max luck in the game, just because she can do get the null to all gimmicks, including the magic circles, since using the strike shot makes you immune to that. She's good for some like legitimate like high-level quests like Kushinada Zero, Marishten. Some people even use her for Magmel. but also just for general farming, she would be good for that as well. Okay, number 6, speaking of Magmel, is Ochise Ascension. She is a bounce with Minesweeper null damage wall, and yeah, you could definitely use her in Magmel. You just need the Minesweeper in there. And then the 8-way laser is really nice because you need to set off counterattacks in that stage. And then that laser comes out immediately and it covers a good amount of the screen. So it's good for that. But yeah, just beyond Magmel, the double null ability is really nice. That's the same as Kushinada, who's also very versatile. And then Ochise's quest is not very difficult. There's no gimmick, except for the magma. But as long as you take down the angels and then pick up the potions, you can save yourself the magma damage. So yeah, not too difficult a character to make. Okay, number 7, yet another super extreme, and that will be Yumiru Evolution. And then, yeah, he's kind of like the red version of Tsukuyomi, Pierce with Minesweeper and Null Warp. In a recent buff, he picked up Dash, so that will help with his speed. He has very high attack, but low speed, but then the Dash will help with that. And then he has a 12-turn Strike Shot to increase his speed there as well. So he's pretty versatile. His quest is also a little tricky. You want to take down multiple guys in one turn, but Solomon could be good in there. I think Moses would also be good in there. So yeah, you can try them out and see how hard it is to make the max luck of Yumiru. Okay, next we are moving into Impossibles and Colossals. And actually for Red, there are a lot of good choices. So it's kind of hard to whittle down who I would pick. But my number 8 pick is going to be Kain. Partly because his quest is easier than a lot of the other Impossibles, I would say. And then pretty versatile max luck as well. Pierce with Minesweeper and Null Gravity Barrier. You can use that lots of different places. The bump combo is not super strong, but it's not bad either, the Star Laser. Yeah, really like this character. Okay, number 9 is going to be Arcadia. And yeah, this is a Colossal monster. The hurdle to finishing the max luck of any Colossal monster is very, very high. But this one is worth your time and effort. And then, yeah, I've said this many, many times, but he's about as good as a Hatcher monster. But you can get him for free and then make the max luck of him. So yeah, he's very much worth the effort. Double null ability, the Minesweeper Null Warp, and that's Minesweeper M, so that's pretty good. And then pretty strong bump combo, pretty strong strike shot. He's just really solid. And then he might actually be better than Hatcher monsters for his particular element, and then Sling Style and Double Null. Wado Purugisu, the Ascension version, I think, has all that same stuff. But Arcadia still might be better than him. And then I know a lot of people, they made the max luck of Magmel just using a team of like 3 Arcadia and then a friend. He's that good. Okay, and then the last max luck, who is maybe the best of all, is Izanami. This might be surprising to some people, it might not be surprising at all. But this is the first Impossible character in the entire game, but still really, really good. HP and attack are pretty high, and then the double null ability, Null Gravity Barrier, Null Warp, still makes her very, very, usable over and over again. Like, I'm surprised by how many quests I've used her in, even very recently. The bump combo has not aged well, and then the strike shot is not very strong for how long it takes to charge up, but it can still be useful. Currently, I'm using Izanami to make the max luck of Eschatology. You can also use her for like Scorpica or Darwin, just a ton of guys. Izanami is just one of the most evergreen max lucks in the entire game. Alright, so those are my top 10. Next, let's look at a few honorable mentions. And then, yeah, I did talk about a lot of Impossibles and Colossals that are all good. Nirvana's really good. He has a double null, null warp, null damage wall. Not a lot of quests where you need both of those. But like a lot of the other characters on this honorable mention list, there will be chances to use him where you only need one of those. So another one of those is Avalon. This is a Pierce with a null warp, null damage ball. Again, not a lot of quests where you need both of those, but you can certainly use them for one or the other. I use I use Avalon a little bit more just because she is a Pierce, and so she's easier to use. The players that have the max luck of Ragnarok really like her, and they use her a lot. And then having to bounce with the no gravity barrier, no damage wall is more useful and fun than I was expecting. I finally got one recently. And then on top of that, Ragnarok has a blast bolt combo, making her a good support character. And then the strike shot, it's a speed and power up. But the multiplier is fairly high considering that it's every 12 turns. So she's pretty good, she's pretty usable. And then finally was from the City Hunter collaboration is Ryo. He's a bounce with no damage wall, no wind only, but the ricochet bump combo, which is good for taking down little guys. And then yeah, every time like a collaboration comes around and there are limited max lucks, I look at them and I'm like, oh, these guys are very unique and special. I better make the max luck of them because they'll be really useful. But I don't end up using most of them, actually. But Ryo, for sure, I know, is going to be useful because of his bump combo. So if you were, lucky enough to pick up this guy, that was a good choice. Okay, so that was my look at the top Fire Max Lux. Most of them are in the library. I think Kain and Arcadia are the only ones not in there. Otsu is not in there, but she'll be added soon, so you can pick her up then. Okay, next will be Water. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.